you launching a product or have you launched a product and you're either worried that it's not going to go very well or unfortunately it has not gone as well as you had hoped? Last year I launched this. It's an oversized picnic blanket that has room for all of your friends. It's wine and waterproof and it's got peg holes in each corner to hold it down, as well as a secret pocket underneath to hide all of your valuables. On launch day, I sold 180 of these picnic blankets that are worth £145 retail value. I ordered 300 in the first instance. I sold 180 on launch day, and the pink picnic blankets have now sold out, which enabled me to launch a sage colorway. But how did I sell 180 £145 picnic blankets on launch day? Let's dive into it. Rather than diving into the areas that I did well in, I'm going to talk to you all about the 3 key mistakes that people make when launching a product. And these 3 things are things that I avoided on the run up to the launch day itself, and post-launch. Number 1, not talking about your launch far enough in advance. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when launching a product is only talking about that launch on launch day. Now, there's several reasons that this is problematic. First and foremost, you have not warmed up your customers to that launch. They don't know why they should buy it, and they are not ready to buy it. So how do we avoid this? Well, in the case of the everything blanket, I started talking about this launch months in advance. And the reason I started talking about it months in advance is one of my biggest strategies on social media for my business, Partner in Wine, is to tease launches way in advance, not tell people what that product is, but keep talking about a product that I'm launching. And the reason this has worked well for me is it gets people engaged. People hate secrets. They want to know what I'm launching, and it gives you an opportunity to drop clues, educate people in different areas, and it adds a little bit of fun and excitement to the process too. Now, when it comes to crunch time, 2 weeks before launch, I revealed what that product was. A week in advance of those 2 weeks, so 3 weeks out of launch, I began to tell people that I was launching the new product in a week's time. I did an Instagram live to reveal that product where I had over 200 people join to find out what it was. And in the weeks preceding that, I educated people around the time that the live was going on, dropped clues and let people know what to expect. I shared my excitement about the launch on social media, and people began to get excited with me too. You've got to keep those energy levels high. This is the perfect time to get people excited about a new launch without them even knowing about it. Now, 3 weeks before that launch, I was talking about this launch pretty much every day. I was talking about the live, reminding people to join, asking them to set reminders so that when it came to launch day, again, the excitement levels were high. On that launch day, again, I was talking about it now multiple times in the day to keep reminding people to tune in, watch the live to find out what the live reveal was going to be. Which brings me nicely onto my second point. Number 2, not talking about your launch enough. So what happened after the live? After the live, I posted several Instagram posts. I posted product photos to educate people around the benefits. I posted a reel to educate people around the benefits, and I sent out an email. The call to action throughout this launch was for people to sign up to my mailing list, and this actually means that you can talk about your product in multiple different places. And the one thing that you really need to bear in mind is that by launching a product on social media, you might think you're talking about it a lot. Even just by posting once, it doesn't guarantee that people are going to see that post. So it's really important to get people on your mailing list, get them to know. It's really important to get people on your mailing list so that you can speak to them directly in their inbox without having to rely on any kind of algorithm. Once you have announced to the world what your product is, do not put it on sale straight away. This will give you the opportunity to warm your customers up, educate them around the benefits of your product, and get them to want it. Get them to want to add that product to the cart. During this 2 week period, you are going to want to post every single day, and that needs to be feed posts and reels. You can do photos, you can do a reel, whatever it happens to be, you just need to post those things every single day. But you also need to be posting stories, and this will allow you to do something very different from educating people around your products in a way that sits on your feed forever. It allows your audience to get excited, it allows you to interact with people and answer questions in real time, and it allows you to update people about the behind the scenes of what's happening in the run up to your product launch. What do all of these things actually do? Well, they remind people that you're launching a product. If you have only talked about your product launch a couple of times, the chances are a lot of people are not going to know that you're launching a product. You need to be talking about that product until you are blue in the face. You need to keep reminding people. You need to be shameless in it, have that confidence. And if people simply don't want to follow along because they feel like you're spamming them, then they were never going to buy it in the first place. So don't worry about those people. Number 3, and this is potentially the biggest mistake I see people making, is not talking about their product post-launch. Launch day comes, everyone knows that you're launching a product, they've been on your site, they've purchased. But what about the people that have forgotten to log in at 8 AM on your launch day? By now, you should have had a customer base that are feeling super rewarded to sign up and purchase at 8 AM on that day. You may need to offer additional incentives, but what happens to the people that are not engaged in that way and don't really care about additional incentives? Well, if you don't sell out on launch day, or even if you do actually sell out on launch day, talking about your launch day post-launch is a really, really good way of bringing people back in, bringing back those abandoned cart rates and getting your product to that level where it could potentially sell out. Now, there are several things that you can talk about post-launch day, and your product post-launch kind of falls into that category where yes, it is a new end product, but it also is now a product with the rest of your product range. And what do you do with the rest of your product range? You promote it on social media regularly. Because this is a new in product, you're going to want to promote this way more than your older products. And I would recommend talking about this new product for at least solidly a week. And then the second week after that, you can post about it a little bit more sporadically, and then it will simply slip into the rest of your content plans. Some great ideas of content that you can post post-launch would be sharing behind the scenes of how your launch day went. So make sure you're filming behind the scenes when your product goes live. Another really fun example that I did for the everything blanket was my boyfriend filmed my launch day, and he filmed throughout the day and gave updates, and I stitched it together and I made it into a TikTok video, and it did really, really well because it was from a point of view that obviously was not the usual point of view that people are used to seeing from me. Some more examples would be sharing people with their products. So a lot of my customers sent in photos of their everything blanket, of their picnics. And this kind of makes people feel like they're part of a community, part of a club, part of that exclusive set of people that managed to get their hands on your product on launch day. And if you can build enough hype up about your product pre-launch, then you'll find that people will send these photos into you really, really organically because they want to be part of that club. Lastly, have fun with it. Make content that makes people smile. Make content that evokes some kind of emotion. This is the kind of stuff that tends to get a further and wider reach. And again, that is that all-important brand awareness that you want for your new products that will eventually encourage people to buy. Have you made any of these mistakes when launching a product before? Let me know in the comments. And if you're launching a product soon, I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. I post a video every Sunday at 6 PM, and you can find more helpful short snippets of content like this on my social media, which I've left the links for down below. Thanks for tuning in. Best of luck with your product launch, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye.